Many people don't realize that there's an office up here. And Santa's great and all, but come on, people, he's just one guy. We've got operational standards, we've got regulations. There's even a compliance department down the hall. So as we get close to wrapping up this year's program, we've been looking at our firm's needs analysis. We decided to set up this soundproof booth to get some honest feedback from the reps. So let's take a look.
Is this thing on? We better not get barred or fined for this.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. We're basically just looking for candid feedback.
All right, here goes nothing.
So you're asking me if I thought that there was something weird about that Grinch guy? I mean, come on. He was impersonating Santa Claus. That's fraud.
Don't even get me started on Mrs. Claus. I mean, she's a great lady, but she's gotta stop bribing people with cookies. See what I mean?
And who could forget the abominable crash of 29? Naughty kids ended up on the nice list. Nice kids ended up on the naughty list until the entire system just crashed. It literally took years for kids to start getting the right gifts again. It was a Chris tragedy.
I'm sorry, a Chris what?
A Christmas tragedy? Duh.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rudolph. Just because you're the supervisor, training doesn't apply to you? Well, newsflash, it does. Stop being such a red-nosed prima donna.
I feel like we have the same talk every year. I say, Santa, you can't exceed your $100 limit on gifts and gratuities. And what does he do? He goes and buys a gift for every kid in the world.
I mean, I don't know why it's so hard to get 8 reindeer to do their annual training. They know they have to do it. In the time it took to argue about it, they could have had at least 10 sugar cubes. Jeez.
Regulation SNO. Yeah, of course I know what that means. Cookie?
Frosty. Yeah, I know Frosty. He's what I like to call a seasonal rep. I mean, 1 minute he's there, putting in all the hours, then all of a sudden, poof, gone. Missing for months at a time. Oh, and guess who's stuck filling out all the paperwork? This guy.
So cybersecurity has been a big problem lately. I mean, last week, the naughty or nice list got hacked. How many times do I need to tell these elves? Christmas 1, 2, 3? I mean, come on, that's not a secure password.
Meanwhile, I've got Santa's little helpers recommending non-suitable presents for kids. I mean, come on, a dirt bike for a 2-year-old? That's just not right.
I mean, honestly, you cannot meet underneath the mistletoe every Tuesday at noon and exchange non-public toy information and think you're not going to get caught? I don't think so. Am I right or am I right?
You remember Buddy the Elf, right? Kind of a tall guy, worked up on the 10th floor. Well, he transferred from the North Pole to New York without any notice. Never even updated his U4.
A dirt bike for a 2-year-old. A dirt bike for a 2-year-old? Really? I mean, polar opposites. Pun intended.
Let's see. There's cross-gifting. That's when an elf tries to push new presents based on a kid's past presents. And then there's stitching, and that's when an elf will try and move a stocking within a nice family or between nice families. The last one, it's making, and that's when an elf creates excessive gifts for a kid's account for future gifts, regardless of what that kid may want in the future.
Okay, so what's your point?
Wait, what was the original question?
I just asked what your last name was.
Oh, well, it's Elf, of course.
We've got to give Tiny Tim a call. I know Scrooge is all about doing things the traditional way, but his audits are getting a little out of control. Forget 3 ghosts? Somebody give that guy a laptop.
I mean, seriously, these petty issues are costing the firm millions each year. It needs to stop.
I mean, I'm sick of this. We should have just used Quest CE. We would have been covered. You helping me with this?
That thing totally drilled me right in the ear midway, and I was like, concussion!
That's what a horse would do.
Okay, just a second.
Did I say that kind of like,
feel like I need to like turn and be like, meanwhile.
Like lean into it. Like,
Okay. Cookie?
Yeah.
You can't meet somewhere.
Hey, can you help me with this?
Forget 3 ghosts. I'm gonna say ghosts now. Because you said it.
Communication with the.
Many people don't realize that. I remember less each time.
The one scene. It was perfect the way you did it, though. Okay, sorry.
why are you laughing at me? Is that weird?
Frosty is what I like to call a seasonal rabbit. One minute he's there, putting in all the long hours, and then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone. And who's left putting in all of his paperwork? This elf.
Frosty? Yeah, I know Frosty.
I was really feeling that one too. Fa la 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 la, I love my job.